I have a big thank you from our 1,652 subscribers. Thank you for staying with me, for listening, for encouraging me with your comments and your financial donations. I appreciate you all, and we have a future ahead of us, hopefully inspirational. That's my plan. I'm planning to be here to inspire, enlighten, and build up humanity. Excuse me. Sometimes inspiring humanity, even myself, is looking at the reality of how things are. I believe in creation and manifestation, visualization. I believe your thoughts create your reality, but I don't deny, nor am I in denial of what is in front of me, because the reality you see is real. It's a physical reality, the same as the thought is the beginning of the physical reality on the manifestation plane, if you like to express it that way. So sometimes I talk about things that may not seem very inspirational, but you have to know where you are and how things are to get to where you want to be, or to live the life that you want to live. You have to have a starting point, let's say. And if you don't know a contrast between what you like and what you don't like, how are you going to know if you've ever improved your life, or if you've improved your situation, or achieved what you desire? You would not know what it was like to have everything if you never had anything, because you have to have a contrast: hot, cold, up, down, in, out. It's a, how do I say, a hermetic principle. They talk about that, the law of polarity. Where does hot begin? Where does cold begin? Is it cold at 32 degrees? Maybe for you it is, but for the Eskimo who lives in sub-zero weather, actually the Eskimo baby is inside an igloo with no clothes on at 32 degrees. Very comfortable. But for me, and probably most of you, that would be very uncomfortable. You would call that cold. But is it cold to him or her? No, it's not. So it's all relative to whatever you have experienced in your life. They say, and I believe this to be true, you cannot know ecstatic, deep, profound joy unless you've known deep, profound sorrow. And I've known both. Without the contrast, you have nothing to compare it to. And I know some people, they get angry because we generalize. For example, I may say, most of the women do this, most of the men do that. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about all women or all men, but we generalize because it makes sense. Men have characteristic traits, as do women. So when we speak about things like that, it's the same as the drivers in New York drive differently than the drivers in Chicago, or the drivers in my small town here. I guarantee you the drivers in Latin America drive extremely different than the way we drive here. So I could say the drivers in Latin America drive like this. Now, are there some that don't? Of course there are. But we speak in generalizations. It's just the way we do it. There are always exceptions to the rule. I was having a discussion today, a messaging discussion. I commented on a post, and a woman was on there trying to tell me that women and men are the same, basically. They can do everything. A woman can do any job a man can do. I disagree with that. That's like me saying, well, a man can have a baby. No, we can't. Women can do many things that men can't do. And men can do many things women can't do, nor do they want to do. We were discussing the differences in the jobs that are done. I'm in the construction business, and I see very few women in the construction business. But she came back and told me there are women plumbers, carpenters, electricians. I mean, I'm sure there are, but I haven't seen any. No, I did see a woman painter, but there are very few, and I've been in the construction business all my life. Now, I see the ladies out on the road, but they're usually holding the signs. A woman does not have the strength of a man, physically or emotionally. Now, are there exceptions? Of course there are. Back in my 30s, I met this woman that I wouldn't have wanted to get into a disagreement with. She probably could have beat me arm wrestling. So, yeah, there are exceptions to every rule. But in general, women are not out there doing the hard, dangerous, laborious jobs that men do. And then they wonder why there isn't equal pay. We'll put out equal effort, and then there can be equal pay. So I'm not sure how I got off on that. The point I'm making here is you can view life in that respect. You can get caught up in all those things that these women are pushing for this or these men are pushing for that. And it's really things you can't do anything about. What you need to focus on is what you can change about yourself. And if you get to watching too much social media, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this yet. Maybe you did, probably before I did. But they watch what you watch. So if they see you like this controversy of maybe men talking badly about women, you will see more and more of those videos. It's like the psychological principle. Whatever you focus on grows in your experience. But this is a mechanicalized deal where they watch, and whatever you watch, they give you more of that to keep you on more. And it really can taint your point of view of the world. You start thinking, God, this is everywhere. When in reality, they're just showing you that. Now, let's say you started watching videos of men who talked great about women and said they were honest and good to be with, and it didn't cut them down. Talked very well about women. You would start seeing more of those videos come up on your phone, and that's the way it works. So it's very easy to get a distorted view of the world and women and men. I'm not one here to put men against women or women against men. I think we're all equal in the eyes of God, but there are things women can do that I can't do. And I will never be able to do them, no matter how hard I try. Women, as I've said, have intuition that men don't have. My intuition is pretty good, but a woman's good intuition is probably much better than mine. And physically, I'll never have a baby. I won't probably be able to nurture a child as well as most women can, because they're inherently designed for that. And on the other side, a woman is not going to be as physically strong as I am and determined and willing to work the hours that a man works. Thus, they don't get paid as much because they don't do the same types of jobs, nor are they willing to do that. They're more into relationships and community. Does that make them weak or bad? No. It's just different. They have weaknesses. We have weaknesses. They have strengths. We have strengths in different areas. I'm not sure what the push is to make everybody the same or to act like we are the same, when the reality is we're not the same. We are different. It doesn't mean one is less than the other. It doesn't mean that, but we work better together. And it's my hope here to get you to see that all women aren't bad and all women are good, the same as men. You got men that go out there and pump and dump, take advantage of women and lie to them. You got women out there that go out and pump and dump, basically, take advantage of men and lie to them and get money from them. It works both ways. You just have to discern when you meet someone what they're like and not be so quickly to jump into a relationship because they make you feel good. And as a man, some people say I stuff my feelings because I believe in stoicism. I believe there's a time and a place for feelings, okay? And I don't think the time and the place for them is to be crying and being sad in front of your woman all the time, even if you feel that way. I think you need to deal with that with another man. And I'm not saying you should never tell your wife you're sad or never express sadness, but there's this big push about men being vulnerable and being emotional and open in front of their woman. I don't think there's anything wrong with showing happiness and joy and some sadness in front of your woman, but if you're out there and you lose your job, for you to come home and tell your wife that you're scared to death, you don't know if you're going to be able to support her and your kids there too, let's say, and tell them you can't support them, is that going to make her feel secure? Are you lying if you tell her things are going to work out right and you got it handled, or are you speaking in faith? I don't understand what the big push is to make men vulnerable with their feelings. Vulnerable means to be susceptible to attack. Why, as a man, do you want to make yourself susceptible to attack from anyone? And I know a lot of women say they want that, but when you start doing it, they don't know how to handle it. A lot of women will say they want certain things, but watch how they react when you try these things. That's something to think about too. And it's my belief, and I could be wrong, I may piss you women off, but most women, not all, most women left to their own means will destroy themselves, their relationships, and their family. I don't know why. And look at men. A lot of time, men left to their own means without women to temper their personalities can destroy the world. So don't take that as a good or bad. That is just the way it is. That's what I've experienced through my life of 62 years. And I have a lot of experience. I've done it to myself. I've destroyed things myself because of certain character defects I have. We all have character defects. We all have character assets. And to deny they exist is ludicrous. We need to accept them about ourselves, not deny them, and accept them about women. So we just need to accept each other for how we are and quit trying to change them because we want them to be like us. Or they need to quit trying to change us so we can be like them. But I see a lot in our country today, in the Western world, that men are becoming feminine and the women are acting more like men. I don't think that's going to work out too well. Yes, not all women want children, but guess what? Some of you women need to have children. Because if you don't, guess what? We're going to die out as a race. But if that's what you want, then be childless. And I've been called misogynistic for my views and my opinions because I believe in a traditional marriage and a traditional family. And I believe the woman should stay home and raise her own kids rather than putting them in a daycare. And the man should support her and give her a nice, safe home to raise their children. Wouldn't we want our children influenced by us instead of some minimum wage daycare worker? I believe I do, and I can't see how you wouldn't want that either. Now, some of you say you can't afford that. Well, what's more important? The welfare and mental, emotional stability of your children, or another SUV in the driveway, or that $500,000 house? When I grew up, parents had 2-bedroom houses. The only people that had big houses, which are not even big compared to the ones they're building now, were the doctors and the lawyers. And we're talking big 4 bedrooms. That was about it. Maybe 2,000, 2,500 square foot, if they were even that big. Now we get these big extravagant houses at the sake of what? At the sake of the future of our country and our children. What's more important to you? Money? We have become so materialistic in this society. Men first, and the women followed the lead. So I'm not blaming men, I'm not blaming women, but I think the responsibility does lie on the men. We've allowed certain laws to pass. We've allowed this to come to pass. We've pushed, some of us, the government, we've allowed that to push women out in the workforce. And who does that benefit? The tax man. It certainly does not benefit families. Women are encouraged to go to college, and then 90% of the divorce, college-educated women initiate the divorce because they found they can make it on their own. But they can't. They got kids. Yeah, they can make it, but how are those kids being raised? Who's suffering out of that? The family, the children. Because they don't want to put up with his crap. Well, guess what? He puts up with your crap too. It's all about learning how to get along. It's so easy just to exit a relationship now. And I've been there. I'm telling you what, I've been married more than once, as you guys know. And if she don't want to work on it, you're screwed. Doesn't matter. Last time I was married, I went to counsel. I suggested we did all that, but she just didn't want to work on it. She wanted to run and gun and party. So I ended up with 6 kids and been happier than I've ever been in my life. She's been gone out of our lives completely for about 11 years or 12, I'm not sure. So she regrets it now and has regretted it for years. But I didn't beg her to stay, but I tried everything I could do to get her to stay. And she knows it was her mistake. But it's done. The kids suffer the damage. I don't think I suffered any damage. I learned a lot from it. I wouldn't be here today had I not gone through that. Am I resentful towards her? No, because I have compassion for her, because I can't imagine what it's like knowing that I had 6 kids as a mother and more or less abandoned them so I could party and run around. But that's life. We each have to be accountable and responsible for our decisions. Lord knows I've paid the consequences for a lot of mine. Well, that's all I got for today. If you'd like to get my help personally, you can check me out at marksinspiration.com or send me an email at marksinspirationalguidance. The information will be in the description. And I'm out of here. Take care. Have a wonderful day.